and I'm back with more books. So now you get the hang of the series. I'm going to be reading a different personal development book every single week, hopefully, and reviewing it, telling you what you need to know. That way, if you don't like to read it all, I can do it for you and tell you all the important takeaways for me, but also I think these things relate to people in my situation who are millennials wanting to improve themselves, have a hard time reading or remembering things, and sometimes don't have the time to do all this reading. So today I am reviewing one of my favorite books of all time, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. I don't really know how to pronounce her last name. If she sees this, I hope that's correct. It is truly one of my favorite books of all time. I've read it 3 times now. 1, because I have a terrible Dory memory. 2, because every single time I read it, it makes me truly want to change my life. So this book is all about a lot of things. It is about changing your life, self-love, changing your thoughts, meditating, just getting out there and doing it. It covers literally all the topics that most self-help books just do in just one book. It does it all in one, which is amazing because sometimes, you read one book that's really focused on something in particular, and this covers it all in like a fun, funny. She's very funny, very witty, a little bit inappropriate, which is my absolute favorite. That's what I consider myself as well. So she's my favorite so far. And she covers it all in a very fun, unique way. So definitely check it out. But here are my favorite takeaways from the book. Number 1, she talks about meditating. Now, for someone like me who has a generalized anxiety disorder and my brain is always going, meditating sounds like a very scary concept, but I actually love it. It is something I need to do, not want, literally need to do every single morning in order to have a great day and make myself calm down and calm down all those crazy thoughts in there. And she talks about the importance of it and really seems to understand how hard it can be. So something she says that I absolutely love, because it's kind of like what I've been trying to describe to people about what meditating does for me, is she says meditating is like being in the vortex of awesomeness. And I'm like, yes, I definitely understand that, because what I've always said, because I love Finding Nemo, is that that little current that all the turtles ride on, the EAC, I think it's called, the East Australian Current, where that turtle is like, you so totally rock, dude, that type of thing. That's what it feels like, to me at least, when you're meditating and you feel like so good and you feel great energy and the anxiety's gone and you're kind of at one with the universe, God, Jesus, whoever you believe in. You're kind of just feeling that connectedness, and that's what meditation does for me. So when she said you're in the vortex of awesomeness, I was like, oh yeah, it's not a Nemo turtle stream, it's a vortex of awesomeness. And it just kind of highlighted the importance of meditation, which is very important, I think, for everyone. Next 2 favorite things that I learned from the book are a couple little phrases, like mantras you can keep in mind as you're going through life and as you're trying to start a new business or do whatever it is you want to do. Like, there must be a purpose that you're reading the book, right? For me, it's to live my absolute best life. So that's why I pick up the book and I'm like, help me. But everyone has their own different reasons. So she said one thing you need is unwavering faith and unwavering gratitude. I wrote down like all these little notes. So unwavering faith and unwavering gratitude. Now again, faith means something different to absolutely everyone, but to her it means believing in your idea and believing in yourself, and unwavering gratitude is being so ridiculously thankful to the universe for everything that you have, that it is unwavering. No matter what terrible shit happens, you are still so grateful and still believe that you're an amazing person and amazing things are going to happen. And that is 100% necessary in order to follow your dreams. And I agree with it. She also has some advice on how to handle negative situations. So one of the things she says is when a negative situation happens, you can kind of keep yourself in that vortex of awesomeness and in that positivity field by saying, this is good because, and she's like, no bullshit. So she even puts it in the book, like, when you get a flat tire, you're not going to be like, this is great, obviously, but you could try to give an example of this is good because it's teaching my kids how to change a flat tire and how to handle like difficult, stressful situations. Now, she said, obviously, that's not going to be the case for everything like natural disasters, deaths, like really bad things. But I think that is a good reminder to have, when something slightly bad happens, but it's not the end of the world, that maybe it's a redirection instead of a rejection, right? So remember that next time it doesn't really work out the exact way that you want. This is good because now I get to do blank, blank, blank. You know, if the person you like doesn't text you back, you can say, this is good because that's not my person. And now I can focus on myself more anyway. You know, if you don't get that dream job that you wanted, this is good because now I have a different experience and maybe that wasn't my dream job. There's a lot of different ways you can take it. And then another thing that she says is when something really negative happens, you have to tell yourself, really? Are you going to let this stop you? And gives a lot of examples of people that have been through crazy hardships and they still make it out and they still do something amazing with their life. And you're going to let something teeny tiny that's not anywhere near what happened to them stop you. And that's a good reminder for me as well, because sometimes I get a little bit overwhelmed and get drawn into that little sadness vortex. And now when I do that, I'm going to think, really? I'm going to let that stop me? No. Now, my last and one of my most favorite things, besides the vortex about being awesome, is that she has a lot of chapters about, you know, really going for your dreams and making actions towards those dreams, where she goes out and buys like her dream car that she can't even afford and fully is like, do not do that. But, you know, for her, it's what she needed to do because then she had to make the money to pay for the car. And one of the things that she says is even when we really go for it and we feel like we're going for it and we're like, that's it, I've changed my life, I'm going for it, you know, I'm doing everything I need to do. We think we're signing up for this big adventure, but really we're signing up until it gets uncomfortable and then we're going to stop. And I was like, oh, that might be me. Even though I don't like to admit it because obviously I'm here making this video. But you know, things haven't always turned out the way that I wanted them to. And sometimes I do give up a little bit. And that's really not who I want to be and not what I want to do, because I have some really big dreams and goals. And I'm not gonna, you know, stop when I'm uncomfortable anymore, especially when somebody points it out in a book that that's what most people do. It's kind of like, all right, then I don't want to do that anymore. I got to do something different and I got to actually go after my dreams. And you don't stop at all. You are relentless towards them until they absolutely happen. Even when it's wildly uncomfortable, you just keep going until you get to that final destination or day or wherever you want to be. Because otherwise, you're not really signing up. You're just like half signing up. And we don't half-ass anything here. Ron Swanson says, I don't half-ass anything. I whole-ass one thing. I think that's what he said. So those are my favorite things from this book. Little takeaways that I hope will be helpful for you. It is a fantastic book. She also has a whole series of other books. You Are a Badass at Making Money, all these different things. So I would go check all of them out.